Hi, good morning. Sorry for the delay. It's 5 minutes late, and I'm sorry. It's just one of the things that happen during half term, because I know that today should have been the restarting of the school, but instead my kids' school is restarting tomorrow. So I'm having them around the house, and this was the only room I could lock myself in. But there was struggles with the Wi-Fi. I had to restart everything. So sorry, and hello, welcome. This is a session which is specially designed to talk about Google Images. So how we can get our images better found on Google. Well, this can be particularly interesting for people who have more visual kind of businesses. For example, photographers, designers, artists, even all people working in the hospitality, because we do know how much images are important. We made a session last week about the best SEO practices for the hospitality business, and we were talking about how important the images are, and this is why I had the idea of making this session today. But even if your business is not particularly visually oriented, you can find ways to create visual designs to convey attention to your topics. And we know how important it is for people to find images and how much they draw attention. Google image search is something that does not always get triggered. You will notice that for some particular niche and some particular kind of search, there is no image tab on the top. If it's more an academic kind of questions, if it's more a question which can get different kind of queries, like if it's more job seeking or more research oriented, in some cases you might not find the tab for the images, and this means that people have not been using it very often. When you see the tab of the images, it means that there is a query that is generally well used in the image search. And it will be very often when it is some kind of designing query, like for example, if you're looking for ideas for your new kitchen. Or if it's more like cooking, receipts, or even touristic, sightseeing, for all those queries in which you would generally want to check images, you will find that tab provided. And that's one of the ways that show how Google pays attention to the interactions of their users. Well, there are many kind of ways in which you could get your content better found. But if you start ranking better for images, then from the images you could drive traffic to your website. Some of the things that you can do are not particularly technically related. I made an article, you can find it on my blog on SEO.marketing. On the top navigation menu, you find articles and publications. And one of these is about Google Images, SEO tips. So in this article, you will find all of them. Some of these are a little bit more technical. Some might require the assistance of a developer or more a bigger knowledge. In this session, instead, I would like to give some very basic information which you can do on your own images. If you're a business owner, if you're a photographer, if you're a designer, if you're an architect, you can get better traffic from your images by doing those things. The very first thing I would suggest you to do is every time you publish an image to make sure that your image has got an alternate attribute which describes concisely and accurately this image. The alternate attribute, the alt attribute of the image, is something that used to be created for visually impaired people who couldn't see, and they use some descriptive softwares that are actually reading out the web pages. But when the softwares find images, they need some alternate text to describe the image. And this alternate text helps very much, helps greatly Google understand what the image is about. And it can help you a lot with ranking your image. Now, if you want to understand how to write a good alternate attribute about this image, you should think of writing exactly what the image is about, describing it to somebody who cannot see it. Obviously, you should include your keyword. If, for example, I would like to rank for a keyword which is Richmond Park, and I add an image of Richmond Park in fall with all those lovely autumn colors and a man with his dog walking. I know I want to rank for the keyword Richmond Park, but it doesn't have to be just that. All the extra signals that Google will find in the page will show if this description is accurate. So do not use just spammy techniques, just keyword stuffing on the page. That's just not cool. Instead, use the text, the alternate text, to show what this page is about, really. So you can write in the alternate text, Richmond Park, man in fall, man walking with his dog in the autumn leaves, or something like this. Just make sure you don't make this alternate attribute too long. There is no recommended content length for this alternate attribute, but if it's too long, will not be taken entirely into consideration, and it might slow the page down, particularly if it's a page which has a lot of pictures. If they have a long alternative text, the page will get slower. So make sure you're using the alternate text with your keyword and description which is concise and descriptive, which is accurate as well to describe what the image is about. Well, Google will find extra signals about what the image is about in the text which is around the image. And this is the second very important tip which I am giving. I know that Google has got an image recognition software, and you might have heard about this. Google has got now Google can understand what an image is about. So if you're using an image of a dog, it will recognize that it is a dog, same as if it is a ball or a cat. It's got the skill of recognizing it. You can understand if it's an apple, you can understand if it's a banana, the difference between the two fruits, but don't rely on this too much because it's not very accurate and precise yet. So it might not be able to catch the slight differences. For example, if you're showing two people on an image, it will recognize them as men, but not as who they are generally. So you should provide, and this is something which is extremely important. The content around the image is critical. Even if it's just a caption of the image, it helps Google a lot to understand what the image is about. Make sure that you place the image on a page which has a lot of significance about what you want this image to rank for. It will strengthen a lot the ranking possibilities of that specific image. Now, these tips that I'm going to give now are specifically for e-commerce, because e-commerce is another sector in which images are very important. So when you are displaying the images of your products, make sure that you use structured data. I know that this is something that you should be able to do on your own, and you can do it if you ask your developers to install you some plugins, if you're using a WordPress, for example, which help you self-compiling your structured data. They exist, and they're pretty easy to be used. I can help you with this if you want, just providing you a specific plugin for this. And for each of your products, you should be able to provide precise information about what it is, its price, its availability, and even to add the images. And if you use this, your images may result in having image badges, which makes them stand out more in Google image search. Generally talking, structured data from schema.org is something that helps your pages, helps Google understand your pages much better. Make sure you use it. Not even just if you're in e-commerce, you should use it if you provide services, if you have reviews, if you have receipts. There are so many, particularly if you're hospitality, accommodation, you should really use them. Now, still, if you're an e-commerce, it is important for you to make sure that the image alternate description that you're using is more or less the same that you would use if you were describing those items in a real shop. In many cases, as SEO professionals, we can forget that it is humans who feedback the algorithm. As humans, we are all used to go to shops and to see products displayed in some ways. There are some ways of finding products that we are used to. And if we have an e-commerce, we might have similar products and we might not know how to show their differences in the alternate text. In this case, try and imagine how you would label them if they were on a real live shop. Which would be the difference in label that you would place to make sure that people understand the difference between those products. and make sure that all this different information together with the keywords that you want to target are in the alternate attribute. Now, instead, this is a bit of information which is specific for photographers because Google recently has acquired the possibility of reading the IPTC photo metadata. This has been the Google answer to a lot of requests that professional photographers have been making over the years. And now they will do it for the XF metadata as well, but now these ones are metadata that you cannot add later. They are going to be embedded in the image during the processing or when you're taking the picture. And Google can read it, which is a very good news for the photographers. You can make sure that it's relevant for what you want to be found for. Instead, something that I've been asked is if the title of an image is important as well. And well, it's not as important as the alternate attribute, and it's not as important as the content around the image. However, for understanding the image, it can be helpful. So all things being equal, the order of importance is definitely the alternate text, so the text around the image, and then the title of the image, which is sometimes just the general code that your smartphone gives when it takes a picture. You can rename it if you want, and you can try and make sure that will be better get found. Something that does not help at all instead is the text on an image for ranking better, because we have realized that Google can recognize with this Google recognition software the text which is shown on a picture. There are some examples of pictures of street signals, and Google can understand what's written in them. Well, you should pay attention to this, but it will not help you get found better for that keyword. So it's not worth using for ranking purposes. Another thing that does not matter at all is in which position you place the image, in which part of the page you place the image. It just doesn't matter. Google does detect the position of the objects on the pages, if they are above or beyond the fold, but as long as you don't use the image on a lateral sidebar or in another boilerplate place, then it does not matter in which position of the page you place it. I'm here if you have any questions, if you want to comment, if you want to ask for something, I would be glad to answer. Basically, what you should remember is to keep your image well scripted on the page and in the specific attributes of the image. If there are no specific questions, I could close with one final tip, which is about the image resolution, because you know that you should not be publishing images with too high resolution, not to slow down the page of your the loading speed of your page. So you should check the size of your the actual display size of your image, and you should make sure that it's not too wide. But if you have the chance, if you're not sure whether to publish a very high resolution image on your site or on a social media like Instagram or on post my image dot anything website, well, you should remember that Google prefers to show to its users the best available image. So you might want to prefer them to show those images from your site and not from any other site. So if you can manage to show that image on a good resolution on your site, still not losing too much in page speed, then that is a good solution, because you would be shown in Google image search results better than the other social media platforms in which you could share that image as well. So I hope this was useful. I hope you appreciated it. Let me know if you have any questions, and share this video with anyone you know that might have an image-related business, photographers, designers, architects, or people who want their image to be better found. Thank you so much for joining, and see you next week.